So, it's funny with the New York Jets. We were lectured by the national media, by fans, by heck, the quarterback of the team himself, that despite the fact that the Jets have not made the playoffs since I was in first grade, despite the fact that they have an old, shaky offensive line, despite the fact that at the time they had a coach whose win-loss record was abysmal, and chief of most importance, they had an old quarterback who hadn't been good in 3 years, off an Achilles surgery, whose most recent 300-yard game came less recently than Tom Brady's last 400-yard passing game. No, for the audience. Tom Brady retired 2 years ago. Just to know. Also, really, in essence, folks, what the Jets asked us to do is to basically turn our brains off and ignore everything that we had previously accepted as common knowledge when it comes to building a successful football team. Hey, doesn't matter that the coach has a terrible losing record. Doesn't matter that the roster, it's not that great. It doesn't matter that they don't have a history of winning. It doesn't matter that their quarterback is old, hurt, and not good anymore. For some reasons and because of those factors. But you know what? I'll give them credit. Because after 3 games, they're 2-1. They had won 2 games in a row. And Aaron Rodgers, being the smug individual that he is, he goes to the media and says, after winning back-to-back games over, let me check my notes over here just a second. Will Levis and Jacoby Brissett, after winning against those 2 quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers goes to the media and says, and I quote, "The Jets' next step is to expect to dominate." To expect to dominate. Well, since that moment, the Jets would go on to lose 10-9 to the Denver Broncos, and by the way, as an 8.5-point favorite. And Aaron Rodgers goes to the media immediately after the game and says, "Hey, come on, guys. What do you expect us to do in a monsoon here in New Jersey? We can't control what do you want us to do?" You know what? I'll give Aaron that. It's fair. It's not going to rain like that every game. Yeah, maybe it's you're not used to playing in the rain. Although, as my co-host on the Triple Option, shout out to Addison Asher on the Triple Option every Monday and Friday morning on 89.5 The Edge. Asher goes on to say, he told me this on the radio show today, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, he's definitely not used to playing in bad weather at all, Green Bay, Wisconsin. But you know what? Let's give Aaron the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was the rain. So let's go to dry London. Let's go across the pond. It's dry. It's not raining at all. It's going to be fine. Wait a second. Shoot. He just threw 3 interceptions, including a pick 6 in a game that they lost by 6 to the Minnesota Vikings. And Aaron Rodgers the next day, just out of the blue, just so happens, total coincidence, to have a phone conversation with the owner of the Jets, Woody Johnson. And out of nowhere, the next morning, Robert Saleh's not the coach anymore. Total coincidence. And Aaron Rodgers, told us. And by the way, Aaron is a man that we can trust, obviously. He's never been a guy to mislead us in any way. That, how could I? People think I have so much power in the organization. Come on. You really think I got Robert Saleh fired? Are you crazy? Fair enough, Aaron. You've proven yourself to be a trustworthy source over the years. No question about that. But you know what? Either way, maybe the coach was the problem. We got a home game, Monday Night Football, and for the whole country, divisional game against the Bills. We win, we're in first place, and we're at home. And shoot, they lost that game. They just lost that game. Of course, Aaron would go straight to the media, and we got a lecture on was it the red line or something like that? Aaron was talking about how Mike Williams wouldn't stay loyal to that, or whatever the case may be. Mike Williams ran a bad route, and he proceeded to rip Mike Williams a new one. A receiver. Wait a second. I just thought about this. Just maybe receiver. Seems like there's a guy who Aaron Rodgers is BFFs with, Devontae Adams. He's a great receiver. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the issue is Aaron does have his best guy throwing passes to in the world. Let's get him in the building. We're going to get Davante Adams, and we are going to go on the road to Pittsburgh, PA, where we are going to be favored on the road, despite the fact the Steelers have a winning record. We're going to get the job done. And, that big addition, Davante Adams, they scored 15 points, and they got shut out in the second half. But Aaron Rodgers, very intelligent individual. He went to Cal, after all. Diagnosed the source of the Jets' problems. You know what, guys? It's actually not weather, coaching, or bad routes. You know what the issue is with us? We just don't have enough fun. We don't play with enough joy. Joy. They lost to the Patriots. Play with plenty of joy. Aaron Rodgers is the guy. We know. He's not like he's a person who has become famous over the years for looking into the camera when somebody else screws up, i.e. Michael Scott on The Office. Go to New England as a 7.5-point favorites and lose to the, at the time, the one-win New England Patriots, who many argue were the worst team in professional football. And Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, can we show Aaron's stats in this losing streak? Because I don't. Maybe I just don't know that much about football, but that doesn't look good. Maybe I'm crazy, but those stats don't look impressive. Aaron Rodgers this season, or at least in the losing streak, 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 254 pass yards per game, not even completing 60% of his throws, pass rating of 77, and the team is scoring 16 points, or the New York Jets. And by the way, Aaron has diagnosed the real problem, or at least elaborated on what the issue is and how they can solve the problems of the New York Jets, despite losing 5 games in a row. Aaron, what did you have to say yesterday?
There's a moment of darkness for this team. Is that how you see it, and how do you get out of it? I mean, you could just stay in the darkness as well.
Yeah, I've been in the darkness. You got to go in there, make peace with it. Offensively, our goal has just got to be score 30. Doesn't matter what the other two sides are doing. You know, we have trust in our defense and teams. But if we're not scoring 30, we're underachieving this offense.
If we're not scoring 30. The problem with that is, Aaron, you guys haven't scored 25 this season. You're the only team in the NFL that can say that. Here's what I know. I have been on this earth for 21 years. If there's one thing that I've learned, I've been happy, been sad. I've had great support in my life beyond my family, who's the best, of course. And I've lost such people. I've been high and I've been low. I've seen everything. Well, not everything. I've seen a lot in 21 years on this earth. But if there's one thing that has remained true since I entered this earth on June 28th, 2003, here's what I know. If all else fails, if the world goes to hell, the Jets will always be the Jets. Doesn't matter. You can come out with excuse after excuse after excuse. Doesn't matter. The Jets going to be the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers going to be Aaron Rodgers. I said this last week, there's no human being playing that position, in the most important position in sports, quarterback, in the National Football League, that I would rather want to have leading my organization, leading the locker room in times of crisis, and it's that guy. This side of Jay Cutler, the worst leader I've ever seen in the history of that position in the National Football League. It's always everybody else's fault. It's the weather's fault. Then it's the coach's fault. Then it's the receiver's fault. Then it's the vibe's fault. Now it's we got to come out of the darkness. Dude, you're not good. The team's not good. And you're not good enough to lead him out of this. And by the way, as a little dainty, little cherry on top, the Jets play 3 days from now. They play the Houston Texans, who are currently the 2 seed, excuse me, the 2 seed in the AFC. The Jets are favored to win that game. A team that has lost 5 games in a row is second to last in the AFC standings, playing the second best team in the AFC standings. Somehow, some way, they're favored. I don't know if it's because Vegas, the betting public, the media at large is petrified to criticize this guy out of fear that the all-powerful Aaron Rodgers would dare come after them. Guys, could we cover this team for what they are? Listen, I said before the year, and I caught a ton of flack from this from Jets fans and Aaron Rodgers apologists, that this was a set. This had 7-10 written all over it. Even I may have overrated them. I mean, is there a scenario where the Jets win 5 games? Is there a scenario where they win 5 games this year? I have gotten sick and tired of the media covering this team and Aaron Rodgers in particular trying to gaslight us on the idea that this team is nothing more than what they've always been, the New York Jets. They've declined defensively since firing Saleh. Their offensive line has gotten worse by the week. Devontae Adams was never going to do anything because he's not working with the same quarterback he did 3 years ago. Unbelievable. I'm floored at how this team is covered on a weekly basis. They're bad. Folks rip Dallas, rightfully so, by the way, but screw Dallas. Everybody knows Dallas is below average. I hear more criticism, honest to God, toward the Kansas City Chiefs, the back-to-back champs, who are 7-0, who have not lost since Christmas Day last year. I hear them get more criticism than this clown show in New Jersey, who has the same record as the Raiders, the Jaguars, and after tonight, the Giants. I'm telling you, this is that they are favored against the Texans makes me want to pull my hair out. Listen, Houston's not perfect, but gosh darn, they're miles better than this clown show. What universe should a 6-2 team be a dog to a 2-16 on a 5-game losing streak? Remarkable. Absolutely insane to me. What a clown show here in New York. Clown show. Golly. Aaron Rodgers still throws a pretty ball. That's all he can do. He'll throw a pretty ball when he's 75 years old. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.